everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm the Legally Blind Bookworm, and today, as you can probably tell from the title, we're going to talk Bird Box. As I'm working on figuring out where all my books fit into the challenge that I've recently read, I thought I would do some talk about Bird Box. It is a book, it is a movie, and now it is spreading social media as a challenge. But first, I'm going to talk about the book and the movie. I am hoping not to do a lot of spoilers here, and of course, a lot of these are my opinions and not necessarily anybody else's opinions. So, first, I watched the movie. It was really popular. Everybody was talking about it on social media, so I ended up watching it. It actually was one of the first movies that I watched with audio description, and I think for me the audio description made it less suspenseful, but that's my opinion. Then after I watched the movie, I decided to read the book. So I am definitely known for saying don't judge a book by its movie. I even want a shirt that says it because honestly, I think most of the time books are definitely better than the movies. But this one, honestly, I was really torn. I am going to apologize if there's any spoilers in this. I'm going to try not to do them, but it might happen. So the book was, I think, about 8 hours, and I will link both the link to the movie and the link to the book down below in the description box. So after I finished the book, I really had to think to myself, which one did I like better? And this one really had me torn. I think there were parts of the book that I liked better and parts of the movie I liked better. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk about today. So the first difference, which I don't think made either one better or different or anything else, was the setting. So the book is set in Detroit, where the movie is set in California. I'm not 100% sure why they did this, but honestly, I don't think it really mattered because the setting was the same in regards to the river and the trees and all of that. It just, the town was different. So for me, that didn't seem to make too much of a difference. One of the other differences was the characters. Now, the main character, she is who she is, although her personality in the book is very different than the personality in the movie. I think, honestly, I liked her personality better in the book than in the movie. But, again, my opinion. But some of the other main characters that showed up in the movie were not in the book. And it was more adding characters and changing the characters, changing their attitudes and changing their, the image of them. So I don't know which one was actually better. Honestly, I think I do like the characters in the movie. I think there were some characters that really they added that were really good and really didn't take away from the storyline. Another part that was different was what the bird box meant to the characters. Now, in the movie, it definitely played a bigger part to the main characters than it did in the book. Sorry, not the book, in the book. The bird box in the book was very minor compared to the bird box in the movie, which was actually a pretty big part throughout the entire movie. Another thing that was very different than the book than the movie was what happened when they were in seclusion. I think it was very different. Both of them were very different. There was really nothing the same. And although the movie had really exciting parts, in that whole area, I think the way that the book was written, it explained a little bit more in regards to what the blind community really would do over what the blind community would do in the movie, because the movie really had nothing to do with the blind community. I am going to do a spoiler. I'm sorry. We as blind people do not drive cars via GPS. But in the book, there was a lot of talk about how a blind person really does get around on their own and how they do some training and things like that. And I thought that was very accurate, and that it definitely didn't give you excitement like the movie did, but the book, like I said, was just more accurate. And honestly, I think I liked the book's version of it better than the movies, especially as a guide dog user. Hint, hint, kind of a little spoiler if you haven't read the book. Another part that was different was the end. Now, this one, again, I think I liked the movie's ending better than the book. Although both of them were very good, I still think I liked the whole symbolism and the whole blind community being shown in the movie rather than the book. With that being said, I think there are some other differences, but those I think are the main differences. If you've watched the movie, I would recommend reading the book. Like I said, the differences do not ruin the book in my opinion, and they don't ruin the movie in my opinion, but I think they definitely give you some different twists to what the author was thinking versus the director and the screenwriter was thinking. With that being said, I do want to talk a little bit about the Bird Box Challenge. Now, this of course is my opinion. This doesn't necessarily mean the opinion from the entire blind community or any other blind organizations. So if you haven't heard, the Bird Box Challenge is a challenge that is spreading social media, like the Ice Bucket Challenge and the Cinnamon Challenge or whatever the other challenges that are currently going on. The Bird Box Challenge is what's now hitting social media. Now, this unfortunately has a lot of negative effects and a lot of positive effects going on right now with the blind community. So, if you don't know the story of Bird Box, the story of Bird Box is that there is an unseen entity that if you see it, you will go crazy and you will then kill yourself. So, in turn, the characters of the movie and the book have to go blindfolded if they're outside, or if they're inside, they cannot look outside. So basically, they are having to be like blind people. Now, where this you might think could be a good thing because it's bringing awareness to the blind community and what we definitely do go through, unfortunately, people are taking it to the next step. Now, there have been people who are really doing this and they are laughing and they are joking and they are making it look like we as blind people are kind of like idiots. They are saying, oh, this isn't possible, we can't do this. Well, guess what? We as the blind community do this all the time, every day. We live normal lives and we then do it every day. We walk around outside, we cook our breakfast, we cook our lunch, we do everyday activities, and yes, we even use our telephones. Unfortunately, what is happening is that the people who are doing it online and on social media do not have the training that most blind people have done. Now, I have gone through about a year of mobility training with my cane and ended up using my cane for about 4 years prior to getting my guide dog. I then went through training with my guide dog and have been working with my guide dog for over a year. Now, that is a lot of experience of knowing when it is safe to cross a street, how to travel down a street with no vision, and in fact, how to just in general know how to get around. Blind people go through what is called orientation and mobility training. This is a specialized training where you get to learn how to use a cane. You get to learn how to use your ears to hear things, how to know when to cross streets, and everything like that. And a lot of blind people also go through training on how to do everyday skills. These are all done by blind organizations or blind rehabilitation counselors. We do these under supervision and under with people who actually know what to do. We undergo this training safely. And what's happening is people in the Bird Box Challenge are taking their skills that they know as a visual person and trying to do them with blindfolds. And honestly, it's really not safe. It is not safe for a person who does not know how to listen to traffic to be able to cross a street or even walk down a sidewalk safely. A ruler, a yardstick, a stick, whatever you want to use, those do not give you the feedback that a white cane does or a guide dog does. Also, not having vision and having to cook it can be scary, and it takes a lot of training to get to know when things are done, how to do things, how to even pour hot water into a glass. And if you try doing this, you can really get hurt. So unfortunately, the Bird Box Challenge has made it so that it looks like blind people can't do the things that they can do because sighted people are saying it is impossible. The other thing it's doing is it's showing us that we as blind people, along with being able to do what we know we can do, people on the Bird Box Challenge are getting hurt because they are trying to do things that we've had years of training to do. The one thing I have seen and have talked with some people is that people, instead of doing the Bird Box Challenge, they are embracing themselves and they are asking the visually impaired community how they do it. We as the blind community, we have a lot of skills, and a lot of us, not everybody, a lot of us though, are very willing to help people if they want to learn. And so some people are actually going and they're wanting to learn the real way we do things. They're wanting to watch us, they're wanting to understand so that we as the blind community can be understood a lot better, and they as a visually impaired or visual community can understand how to help us better. So what I would suggest is if you are a visual person and you are watching this and you want to really understand what it means to be visually impaired, what I would suggest is you to go and find a local blind organization or maybe somebody that you might know in your community who has offered to help, and listen to them and talk to them and find out that we as the blind community are not like the people on Bird Box. We do everyday activities. Many of us work. We get around on our own. We shop. We go grocery shopping. We clean our house. We cook. We take care of our families. We are not this incapable person that some of the blind people are being represented. We as the blind community are very capable people, and we just have to do things a little differently. Now, yes, I am the legally blind bookworm, which means I do have some remaining vision, but I don't have very much. And just because I look at my phone, or just because I can make YouTube videos, or because I do see to take pictures of my dog, does not mean that I don't need my dog, that I don't need my cane, and I don't need help. So I hope this maybe shed some light on some people who may not know about the visually impaired community and the Bird Box Challenge. If you're sighted, please ask questions. I'm not afraid to answer questions or to help you understand the blind community. If you haven't read the book and have watched the movie, I would really encourage you to read the book. And if you read the book and you watch the movie and you'd like to talk more about what the movie and the book have in common and have differences, I am all for that too. So if you have any movies to books that you'd like to recommend me to do some comparisons on, write them in the comment box. I am always up for trying to figure out if the movie is better than the book. So remember, for the most part, don't judge a book by its movie, And I'm also known for saying now, don't judge a book by its TV show.
If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and make sure you ring that bell for notifications.